The protagonist is a powerful wolf pack leader, but she's seen as a weak link by the elders. They've taken her away to undergo a series of brutal trainings. She's beaten and tortured every day, and she's lost all contact with her family and mate. Meanwhile, her mate, a mere human, firmly believes she can make it through. Each is not only holding their relationship together but also protecting the pack. But the elders' intentions are unclear. What do they really want from her? This is a test of love and strength, as well as a battle of trust and betrayal. Chapter 28. After an exhausting day of briefing unit heads about our strategy and checking the border, I found myself without a single minute of respite. As the pack leader, my responsibilities were never ending. I still needed to check on Kyle and Steven, and assess the progress of Adrian's training. Despite my faith in Tyler, I knew his playful nature often got the better of him. Nothing could make that boy take anything seriously. The sounds of training reached my ears before I caught sight of them. Tyler, in his wolf form, was attacking Adrian, who seemed to be holding his own remarkably well for a first-day trainee. Not wanting to interrupt, I remained hidden, observing their session with a mixture of pride and What happened next occurred to swiftly to assign blame. One moment, Adrian was focused intently on Sonny Tyler's wolf form, and the next, he sensed my presence and turned towards me. This momentary distraction caused Sonny to stumble into him. A pang of guilt hit me. Perhaps it was my fault for disrupting their concentration. I rushed forward, immediately noticing to urgent matters, a deep, bleeding wound on Adrian's arm, and a panicked Sonny. The wolf had sensed my presence and jumped to the conclusion that I'd be furious at him for injuring my mate. I glanced at Adrian, who nodded in understanding, before I made my way to Sonny. The wolf was on the verge of a panic attack, his usually playful demeanor replaced by fear. "Sonny," I called out, but he continued to back away, his tail tucked between his legs. "It's okay. I'm not mad at you. It was your fault," I said slowly, using the same tone and use with a frightened pup. As the alpha, it was my responsibility to maintain calm and order, even in tense situations like this. "It's okay. Come here." He stopped and looked at me to make sure that I'm telling the truth. Hesitantly, he took a step towards me as if accepting fate. "It's okay," I said while petting him to calm his nerve, when he seemed that he won't run at the next chance he gets. I turned my attention to Adrian, who was holding his still bleeding arm. I called him toward us while petting Sonny's head, gently assuring him that it's all right. When Adrian came next to me, I held his arm to take his pain away. As his pain started to dull, he turned to look at me with wide eyes. "I need to stop the blood before he loses more." I brought his arm to my face and placed some open-mouth kisses on his arm along with licking it. If he was surprised about the pain, well, he was now as he saw his arm stopped bleeding and wound healed at the skin level, and all there was left was a long angry line where Sonny's claw broke the skin. I can't heal him completely as we hadn't mated yet, but now it looks at least 2 or 3 days old. Satisfied with his arm, I turned my attention on the wolf who had laid his head in my lap. I pulled his head up a bit and kissed his head and asked him to turn back. He nodded his wolf head and went behind a tree to shift back. A few seconds later, Tyler came from behind the tree wearing his denim with the ghost of expression on his face. "Are you okay?" "Yeah. I'm sorry, Eddie." "Adrian, it was your fault, man. I wasn't paying attention." "I'm sorry, Adrian," and tried to comfort him. "Tyler, come, let's have dinner. We all had a long day." I took Adrian's hand and put my other hand on Tyler's shoulder. It was his fault and he knew that, but Sonny's affected him. After dinner, things turned normal and Tyler bid farewell, but not before telling Adrian to be ready for morning training. All the tiredness from the day finally hit me like a truck as my body struggles to stand straight. Who would have thought that taking Steven and Adrian's pain and healing him along with the whole preparation for the war could be really exhausting? Adrian catch me before I fall, picking me up bridal style, and took me to my room and laid me down gently on the bed. He went to my closet and took an oversized shirt and pajama shorts for me. "Do you mind if I help you change?" he asked with a red face, and I told him that it's okay. I looked at him adoringly as he struggled with his blush and bring my clothes to the bed. His reaction told me that he was expecting me to deny his request. He helped me get out of my jacket and shirt before putting a shirt on with a trembling hand. But that was the easy part, as he was looking at my shorts like they could change all by themselves. He glared at them for a second, then turned his attention to my boots and started removing them. He sat on the bed next to me, glaring at my shorts and probably thinking about his next move. Where is that confident person who wanted to take things to the next level yesterday? I finally took pity on him and asked him if he wanted to change. Relief washed over his face as he jumped from bed to run out to his room. I could no longer control myself and laughed my ass off. I thought for a second, what would he do if came back and saw that I still hadn't changed my shorts? Chapter 29. It's been a week since we started planning for the war. It is affecting the pack members greatly, but there isn't anything we can do about it. Adrian and Tyler's training is going pretty well, and Jay is handling the patrolling of borders. While in training the warriors, it's a lot of work to do when there is just 3 of us to leave. Kyle needs to spend time with his mate. Speaking of whom, all his surface wounds have healed completely, but he has yet to wake up. It's been 7 days and he hasn't woken up. That's worrying, but the doctor said that he needs time to wake up, as there is still some physical and mental healing left. That he will wake up whenever he is ready, which I hope as soon as Kyle is getting worse. He refuses to leave his mate's side and literally is living in Steven's room in the hospital. I have decided to give Adrian some kind of weapons to protect himself. I don't know how would others react to a human having silver in the pack, but I need him to have it to, well, at least make me feel a bit better about him being anywhere near the real danger. I know I can't change his mind, cause if I was in his place I would have done the same thing. Although it's been silent for these past days, not once predicting the upcoming war, but my instincts are telling me that something is about to happen. And it's scary and frustrating, as I'm responsible for the life of every person living inside this pack's territory. And I'm afraid that I might fail. It's like I'm sitting on the time bomb about to explode. I was too deep in my thoughts, just staring outside the window of my office, when a hand came around my waist and pulled me back to someone's chest. Someone with nice ABS, that's for sure. Stop worrying, you are doing great. But I'm scared, what if I fail and cost everyone their life? That's not gonna happen. So just close your eyes and take a deep breath and try to relax. I tried doing what he asked me to do. When I opened my eyes, I saw him staring at my lips and leaning in. His hands came up to hold my cheeks as he kept looking me in the eye. My eyes drifted to his lips. And then it was over. His lips caught mine in a passionate kiss. A kiss that promises me that everything will be okay. A kiss that promised me that he will be with me through it all. It was rushed. It was slow, like we have all the time in the world. Maybe it lasted a minute and maybe it lasted an hour. All I know is that kiss, and how soft his lips felt against mine. We were still in the middle of the kiss when a knock sounded at the door. Adrian ignored it as his hands found my waist and pulled me into him. We stayed pressing our foreheads together while trying to catch our breath. Cute, but not the right time, Tyler said as he marched in the office. Dude, you can't just come in like this. Adrian groaned as he still refused to let me go. Hey, I knocked in. Tyler, why are you here? Oh, you're right. I came here to tell you there's an elder at the door who wants to see you, like right now. Shit. Why didn't you start your sentence with that? I pulled myself away from my mate, who still didn't want to let me go, and made my way downstairs to meet the elder. Elder coming to our pack when we are at the verge of war cannot be a good sign. I rushed to meet him, or her leaving the boys to follow me. I went outside to find Dad arguing with the elder. We can't, as he hadn't woken up yet. Why is it so hard for you to understand? Dad, calm down. What's going on here, and may I ask you, why are you on my territory? Oh, so you are the Alpha. So the rumors are true. Yeah, I am the Alpha. Is there any problem with that? He smirked at me and said, You are summoned to the council. We expect you there in 4 days, and you know who else should be there. With that said, he vanished in thin air, leaving me the fear of what might happen at the council meeting. What was that all about? Asked Adrian. Well, we are fucked. Chapter 30. Well, we are fucked. That's the only thing in my mind right now. Elders know about all this mess and arranged a meeting for it. I can't help but feel that something bad is going to happen, as elders don't usually interfere with pack war until or unless it's something really bad or disastrous. I can't let anyone take him away from me, even if it's elders or Moon Goddess herself. He is mine. I'll be damned before letting anyone take him away from me. I was too deep in my head when I felt arms around my waist as someone pulled me in their embrace and whispered in my ears, "Everything is okay, Eddie. We are all here safe and we will remain that way. Just try to relax." Relax? I don't think I can relax when everyone and everything is in danger. I can't. Yes, you can. Just follow my lead and take a deep breath. In and out. I tried following him, and after a few seconds, I managed to relax a bit. Better. Yes, and I'm sorry I shouldn't be panicking like this. I'm supposed to calm everyone, not the other way around. I'm sorry. It's not your fault, Teddy. You reacted in a way anyone would have. Trust me, I would have been worse. Dad told me, but somehow I don't find it true. But I still nodded. Okay, let's go in, and someone please tell me what is going on. 'Cause I don't understand anything. We went inside. Adrian still holding like I would break if he let me go. And yes, not wrong. I still can't get hold of the fact that they could take him away from me. They have the power to do so. They could even split Kyle and Steven. And if we went there, who would protect the pack? Adrian took me to the nearest couch and asked, "Well, the witch, well, please tell me what's the deal with the elders." Elders are, as the name suggests, eldest of our kind, supernaturals, and they formed a council that provides guidance to all of us. They are responsible for maintaining peace between different species. Dad explained. It is said that they can contact with Moon Goddess, and she herself has given them the responsibility of preventing any drastic situation. Tyler continues to explain. Okay, but how is their appearance here means we are fucked. They don't usually interfere with pack businesses, so they're coming here when there is a possibility of war. Can't be a coincidence, since they have the power of breaking the bond between mates, I told him. He looked shaken with all the information and took a minute or two to digest what we told him. I can see all the emotions changing in his eyes, then they settle for something close to relief. Well, then it's a good thing that I'm not part of the supernatural community. They may break the bond, but that couldn't stop me from being with you. Someone needs to talk to Kyle about all this mess, and that someone is not me. Dad, Tyler. Any of you want to break the news to him? Nope was all the reply I got from Tyler and Dad. Well, let's just say he was there a second ago and then he was not. That only left us with one responsible person, Jay. Jay will talk to Kyle about this. And we need to have a pack meeting to discuss what happened and what safety measures would be taken in our absence. Who will lead the defense then? And I need to check on Steven after Jay told Kyle about all this. Kyle has cooled down. And I also need to calm a wolf who is constantly whimpering in my head. Chapter 31. 3 days later. We sent Jay to talk to Kyle, and let's just say, he was not happy being the only sensible and reliable person among us. And Kyle. He reacted exactly as we feared he would. But who could blame him? His mate was on a hospital bed. A whole pack was against them, and now this threat that elders might break their bond. I don't know how HES holding up. Hell, I don't know how any of us is holding up. A meeting was called that night, and it was decided that Jay and Tyler will stay here to protect and lead the pack in my absence. Did they want to stay behind? No, Eddie. You can't be serious. I can't let you go there without pack warriors and us. Jay, at least you understand why I'm asking you to stay behind. No, yes, I don't want you to go there without protection. We are talking about elders. If they want to arrest us or even kill us, no amount of protection will save us. I am not leaving you behind. I'm trusting you with pack and pack members. Then at least take Tyler with you. It will help me rest my mind a bit. He is more needed here. I can talk for myself. You guys always forget that I'm present here. Okay. Tyler, what do you want to say? I'm not happy with this arrangement, but I understand where you are coming from. So I'll stay here. Only if you promise to call if you need our help. Even if you don't. I could tell that Jay was still not satisfied. But he understands. He was taking things better than Kyle. He was ready to go on a killing spree. We couldn't have been able to stop him if Stephen has not chosen that exact moment to wake up. After sleeping for about 2 weeks, he chose the moment when his mate was going on a killing spree. He stopped Kyle before he could do something we would all regret. We all went to the hospital as soon as Jay told us that Kyle wants to go to elders and talk to themselves. We tried to reason him, but he was listening. I was about to use my alpha voice on him to command him to stay put when a small voice called him, making us all turn to the source. Where do you think you're going? Nowhere. I'm not leaving you for a second. I'm not leaving you alone ever again. Where you go, I'll go. I'm sorry, I was there to protect you. Kyle said, holding his hand as he would disappear in thin air. I'm sorry, Stephen. I shouldn't have let you go alone. I failed you as an alpha. I'm sorry. I don't blame you, he said, and turned to look at all of us and continued. I don't blame anyone. If you don't mind, I would like to spend some time with my mate. We all smiled and obliged. We left them in their company. That was a close call. I thought we had to lock him up to stop him. Tyler said, which resulted him a few glares. Stephen saved us. That idiot was going crazy, but we still need to figure out how to deal with all this, said Jay. Well, that was all that happened these days, and I was getting more and more worried about Adrian. He didn't exactly understand the severity of the situation. I don't know if I should tell him to be sacred or let him be content with whatever he thinks of this. Adrian's POV. It's been 3 days since that elder guy, and I can see everyone worried, and especially Eddie. I know she's scared that they might not accept us, but I don't think they have much control over me, as I'm not a wolf. I may be wrong, but that's what keeps me going. I know if I start panicking it wouldn't help anyone, and I know Eddie is barely holding it. I don't want to give one more thing to worry about. I just hope that they would accept our relation, and Kyle's too. Chapter 32. It's finally it. The day that I dreaded most. We have to attend that damn eating today, and I can't help but feel that something bad is about to happen. I can't stop Flicker from panicking. She's trying to tell me something, but all I understand is that something big is going to happen. Something most probably bad. I looked to my side where my mate was sleeping peacefully, who somehow managed to remain optimistic about the whole deal. I watched as the lights start to lit the room, as the sun starts shining in the sky. I hadn't. Cal didn't sleep all night. Flicker was pacing in my head all night. She begged me not to go to this meeting. Movement at my side caught my attention, and I closed my eyes, pretending to be asleep. Stop. I know you're awake. I didn't respond. Still trying to pretend. I know it will hurt him seeing me like this. Eddie baby, I know you were up all night, and really didn't help your case when I saw you close. I sighed and opened my eyes. I'm sorry I tried, but there's a lot on my mind to sleep. It's okay. It's still early, so at least close your eyes for some time and relax as much as you can. I weakly nodded and do just that. If only I had any idea that this would be our last time together, I would have spent it any other way. But then I only hoped to please him and keep him calm. It had been 2 hours since then, and somehow managed to do so. And it's time to start our journey to Elder's Castle. Oh, did I tell you the Elder lives at a castle that is only visible to those who are invited? We decided to meet at the hospital, as Stephen is still there to make sure he is ready for this. We were waiting outside the hospital when Kyle and Stephen came out. Kyle was supporting his mate, who was walking with slight limp, and his bruises all healed and disappeared except for the faint shadow that they left behind to tell the story of his nightmare. I don't know if it's my nerve or everyone looked on edge. It's like I can feel tension or fear flowing through them, and not just about the meeting, but about something that none understand or point at. Even Adrian is on edge. Everyone was getting ready to leave. Everyone was on edge. But I feel like crying. I just want to cry and throw a tantrum about not going to this meeting and tell everyone that elders could keep their opinion in their almighty ass. I, for some weird reason, know that no matter what happens there, I would be the one who gets it worse. I know Adrian would get affected, but not like me. This is going to be a shit show for me. Being the alpha, I have to comfort everyone and be their strength, but today I can't. I need that comfort and strength from them. I know I can't just break. I have to be strong. It's not a choice for me. I don't have the liberty to be weak. I turned to Jay to hand over the responsibility of pack in my absence, and I can see the words of protest run. I know this sucks, but I need you to be strong for me. I am giving you the responsibility of pack and its members to you, to guide them and protect them in my absence. It's only you I trust for this. It sounded like farewell in my head, and I can see in his eyes that he felt the same. But he chose not to mention, and I couldn't feel more grateful. We left in 2 cars. Kyle and Stephen in one and Adrian. Dad and I in other. The drive was 3 hours long. The air in the car feels heavy and the silence was slaughtering our heart, but no one dares to break it. Dad kept on looking at us at small intervals. I had to keep my focus on the road to avoid having a meltdown over something I don't understand. I was holding the steering wheel with the strength that left my knuckles white and steering wheel one breath away from snapping. I felt a hand on my thigh and I released a breath I didn't know I was holding and relaxed my grip on the steering wheel. No matter how much strength I muster, I couldn't make myself to look at him. So I kept my focus on road and he kept his hand on my thigh, drawing some soothing patterns on it. They kept me from breaking, but there is a limit of what a mating bond could do. After 3 long hours, we reached the dreaded castle. The moment we get out of the car, the big doors guarding the castle opened, and what looks like a long path to the front door of the castle could be seen. Oh, how much I wish we could enter in our car. But elders, they hate technology. They like living in the old world. That's why the first thing the guards did was take our phones, which also mean we can't contact anyone until they want us to. It took us some 15 minutes to reach that big wooden door with intricate carving, which are the spells that keep any unwanted guest from entering or leaving. We had to keep our speed slow to accommodate Adrian and Stephen's pace. And another 10 minutes to reach the conference hall-like setting where this meeting would happen. We were waiting for the doors to open. I groaned, "Someone please kill me," in my head, but stopped myself as I look at my surroundings. 'Cause they actually might. Chapter 33. I was staring at the closed door praying. No begging it to not open. But it doesn't seem like Goddess wants to take mercy on me. The door opened with loud noise and we were all forced to enter. We had hardly set a foot inside the room, the door closed behind us, making an even bigger sound. I stared at the room, trying to get as much of my surrounding as I could. The room was huge, with a setup like a modern conference room, but even the air in there felt cold. The cold atmosphere made me shudder as I look around the table. And everyone suspected they're seated, that asshole who all suspected to be the reason behind this mess. A loud growl from beside me told that I was the only one who noticed that, as Stephen tried to calm his raging mate. I looked around the table and there sat the 5 ancient Wanaka elders. Ulysses at the right side of the head chair, looking exactly like the rumors itself, cold and wrathful. Across him Zalthea. She had warmth in her beautiful blue-green eyes. That didn't make me a tad bit comfortable, though. Right next to her sat Sylvester, who had a handsome face with dark hair and sharp jawline. He looked like any girl's best daydream or worst nightmare when you look at his dark as midnight hole that would suck you in, but not in a good way. Across him sat Naomi, who looked to be oldest of them all, even though I know that's not true. She had the personality of a hunter, cold and calculating. And last but not the least, Cecil. The one with the boyish personality and platinum blonde hair and gray eyes combined with pale skin. He was the coolest of them all. Stories said that whenever elders are forced to come forward, he tries to learn as much of the current time and trends as possible. Maybe that's the reason that HES sporting a black shirt that fit him well. Faded blue denim and a black leather jacket. But that's not all elders, there is one left. The oldest and powerful of them all. Faye, which literally meant fairy in stories, said that she looked like one. She rarely came in such meeting, as she was the leader and can't be bothered by petty affairs. I know that made her sound like a bitch, but she's not. She is the only one who could talk to the moon goddess whenever she wanted to. Others had to wait for the goddess to contact them. It is also said that she is the youngest child of the moon goddess, even though she is centuries old. But in some ways, it's good that she is not here, 'cause that means it's not that big of a deal. And things might go in our way. Boy, how wrong I was. On the other side of the table, the one that was close to the door, sat the Alpha, Theta, and some other members of the Blood Moon Pack. The guard who led us here directed us to our designated seats, making me sat in the seat opposite to Head's seat, making me the center of attention, which was not good for my already failing nerves. The vintage chair that looked comfortable but felt anything but that. On my right side sat Blood, Moonpack, and on my left Adrian. Then Stephen, making him right across his brother, who was glaring daggers at him. Beside him sat Kyle and then Dad. Someone started speaking something and I reached for Adrian's hand from under the table. I held on to him tightly to anchor myself and he responded with a relaxing and calming squeeze. Only then I could turn my attention back to what was being said in that room. You see, my lord, she had the nerve to brought her human pet in our sacred place. Her ego and gullible nature didn't let her drop the mate hat. And I want them to hand over my little brother whom they had taken in their puny little pack. That made Kyle growl at him as he struggled to control himself from launching at him. See, they are not even stable and they are keeping him in their pack, knowing well that he doesn't belong there. I request my lords punish them for kidnapping my little brother and let us take him back to our pack. Our home. Well, hell, he was wrong at one thing. It's true that Stephen doesn't belong to our pack. Well, not officially, as we still didn't share the same link, but that doesn't mean that he belonged to their pack either. Kyle and he hadn't completed their mating process. Sure, he marked him, but that's not the same in terms of connecting him to the pack link. But the mark does tell that they are mate and they belong to each other, thus giving them the choice to join either one's pack. Mark only appears when it is given by true mate. If someone who isn't your mate tries to mark you, it would be painful for both and there would only be a red angry scare in place of mating mark. If I am not wrong, you are talking about the same little brother who we rescued from your pack from the near-death condition. And am not even sure if you are blind or just plain dumb, that you can't see their mark. I said with as much calm as I could muster at the moment. That mark means nothing. It's some kind of magic you had done to justify your sins. He is still my brother and I have sole custody of him and treat him whatever way I want. Even we think that that mark is real and they are mate. But that still doesn't explain the presence of your boy toy. This time it was the alpha who smirked at me as he continued. Why isn't there your mark on him? If you truly are mates, then why didn't you mark him? Are you ashamed of him or the fact that you tried to mingle with humans? My lords, I suggest we should free that human from his misery and punish them. I could feel the anger flowing in my veins as I heard those statements. I was shaking with anger, a second away from shifting and ripping his throat. I cowled and even lift a finger when a door opposite to them from which we entered opened and in walked a lady with white hair that reaches below her waist and her blue eyes glows with so much power and warmth. She was wearing a white gown with a lacy white cape which made her skin glow like the moonlight. There was no doubt in who she was, as her mere presence speaks about her mightiness with an aura so strong it was clear that leader of elders. Faye has entered the room, which only confirmed the fact that this matter is not that insignificant as it appeared to be seconds ago. There was pin-drop silence as everyone gawked her with awe. I felt my heart almost give up when her eyes stopped at me, and I feel the change in the air of the room. This can't be happening right now. Chapter 35 must still be sleeping. It can't be real. My luck could not suck this much that I'm living my worst nightmare. But it is here. The leader of elders, Faye, is here. And her presence does not fill with common warmth as legends go. It chilled my bones. She does not, and I mean does not, interfere with matters of mortals until and unless it's something really big which only happened once or twice in the whole history. If she's here, this is not going to end well for me, and I'm not the only one who thought this. Every one of my family felt the same chill as I see their terrified face. On the other hand, the Blood Moon Pack was on cloud 9. They are considering this as their victory. The silence lasted longer than what my poor heart could handle, but thankfully not so long as more accusations started to thrown in our way, all in the hope of getting approval from the one who could end our life just by snapping her fingers. I was wondering what was worst, the silence or the words that were breaking it. Faye listened to every word of what was said and what was said. Whole times her cold and calculating eyes were on me, like staring directly at my soul. The power of her stare was so strong that I cowled and even make the words that were being said now from both sides. It screamed me to look away and accept my defeat. But I didn't. I held her gaze the entire time. It felt like if I back down now, I won't be able to get up ever again. And I get all the strength I needed from the angel sitting beside me. My angel. Mind. This lasted for what felt like hours. She still didn't give anyone any sort of attention as her eyes were still glued on me. She smirked at me right before her eyes shifted to Adrian. My Adrian. I felt my heart stop as I desperately tried to reach for him. I didn't know what I was trying to do. I just want him gone. I didn't want him in the presence of those I couldn't protect him from. I tried to get up from my seat when two strong hands pushed me face first on the table and took hold of my hands, which were forcefully pulled at the back and locked in silver handcuffs. Silver burned my skin as I struggled to look back at my captor. It was Ulysses which ceased all my struggle, as I know I can't break free from him. I looked at my family only to find them in a similar situation, minus the handcuffs, to which I felt somewhat thankful. Althea was holding Adrian down and was whispering something to him. Sylvester was holding Kyle and his mate was being held down by Cecil. And Dad was being held down by Naomi. They all were struggling except for Adrian, but that changed soon as Althea finished whatever she told him. He started saying no and struggling to break from her hold and shift toward me. This was enough to start the fight in me again as I tried resisting him with all I had, which wasn't much for him. He didn't have to break a sweat to keep me in place. He didn't as much have to apply more strength. I was truly helpless. I didn't have to look at them to feel their excitement bubbling through them. They were enjoying our misery. At some point in the struggle, Dad tried to reason with Faye, which in my guess didn't go quite well. I could still imagine that same smirk on her face. Well, all I could do right now is imagine as my face is pressed down on the table with the strength that might break it. Maybe I said that too early as I felt Ulysses grab a bunch of my hair and pulled my head up painfully, making me look at her. She still had that smirk as I had imagined, but there were several emotions running through her head. I could clearly see them on her face, but I couldn't understand any of them. But in my defense, I didn't get much time to decipher them as she nodded to someone and I felt something prick my neck and everything turned black. I felt trapped and unable to move, not just physically but mentally too. I myself didn't understand that, so I don't know how to explain it. I felt myself drifting somewhere, unable to control anything. I felt a block in my head, blocking me from I don't know. I got more aware as I started feeling my body. I was lying on a cold, hard surface and air surrounding me felt restricting. I tried to move my hands, which burned as hell. That did help me gain more consciousness. I get more aware of my surroundings and realized I need to open my eyes to know where I am right now. Opening my eyes had never been this difficult as I tried to will my body to obey. It took a lot of efforts and time when I pried my eyes open, only to find me in a dark place. I closed my eyes again in the hope that this time when I'll open them my surrounding would make more sense. Yeah, I know I'm so smart. I waited for the contradicting voice in my head to tell me otherwise. I waited and waited, but nothing happened. I opened my eyes and tried to reach the deepest part of my brain, but I still couldn't find her. It's like she never existed. I tried again and again till I had to stop to focus on my erratic breathing. I couldn't find Flicker. She was gone. I then remember everything that happened in that cold conference hall. I tried reaching out for Dad, but nothing happened. Then I tried Kyle. Then Jay. I even tried Tyler, but nothing. I couldn't reach them. It's like my whole life just vanished. I sighed as if accepting my defeat and look around. I was in a dimly lit dungeon, and I was lying on what seems like a metal bed that had a thin blanket instead of a mattress and one was covering. My hands were tied in silver handcuffs that had a small chain in between. This time they were tied at my front. I removed the blanket to get up when I noticed the same attention were given to my ankles. The chain does a great job of hobbling me. I gingerly get up as my body felt like I had run a marathon. I hobbled to the bars that were keeping me in this cell. I tried to look for guards or literally anyone who could answer some of my questions or tell me anything. The goddess must have hated me as no one came. I waited for what felt like hours or maybe days, but nobody came. What was my fault? Why was I getting punished for something I didn't do? Why chapter 35? I've never been this lonely in my whole life. I always had someone with me or for me. If they weren't physically there, they would keep on checking on me every 5 minutes. Trust me, it gets frustrating, but now I would give anything to feel their presence or at least find that they are okay. I am worried about Flicker too. I just hope she's okay. I don't want them to hurt her. I'm willing to take her pain. Hell, he'll take the pain of everyone in my family and pack. I don't want them hurt. Not if I could do something about it. Staying in this cell is starting to get on my nerves. Nothing changed here since I woke up. Nobody came here. It must be days or weeks. I don't know, no time really doesn't pass here. There's no way for me to know it's happening outside anymore. I know I'm being dramatic, but it's been so long that I mostly forget that I have silver cuffs on my hands and feet and a chain is hobbling me. I don't feel the burn unless I make any unusual motion. I could walk almost normally without tripping on the chain as I did initially. I haven't eaten anything or even heard any sound. The only source of light is the torches that keep burning because of some kind of magic. I don't know what to do. I must have a sleep as I jolted up at sounds of the metal door opening and in came Ulysses. His face was blank as he made his way to me and in an instant snatched the chain between my cuffs and dragged me out. I was too stunned to react. This was my first human he counts as a human interaction, and this isn't the way I thought it would go. He dragged me to an underground arena, like place and let go of my chain. I wasn't expecting that so I fell. How so are my reflexes? Well, as a witch. I could blame it on lack of food, but I know that's not true. I was just as startled with all this that I didn't think of reacting anyway. While I was still deep in my thoughts, I felt excruciating pain on my left leg as I stumbled to the ground. I look up to find him looking down at me with no expression at all, like he didn't just hit me. What the hell? I screamed, but I got no reply. He just kept down at me like waiting for me to get up, which I did with great struggle as I was reminded of the chain between my legs. I hadn't even stable on my 2 feet when the blow came again, this time with much more force, and I fell this time face first on the ground. I gasped as I felt cuffed deep in my foot, so deep that I could swear I smelled my burnt flesh under them. I grudgingly rolled back to see him looking at me again. What the hell does he want? This lasted a couple of hours until I cowled and get up. Each time was the same. He would hit me and I would fall. Then he would keep starring me till I get up. And then the cycle would repeat. I'm grateful for the fact that he was using a bamboo stick instead of something sharp or metal. It didn't cut my skin except for the cut on my lips that I got from the fall. I only got bruised. Did I bruised? I don't think there is a single spot on my skin that doesn't have any bruise. This also told me something. I was healing at my usual speed and I can't move a finger without getting hurt. But also means that I'm lying on the ground completely helpless with a man that beat me to a pulp, completely disregarding the fact that I'm still cuffed. I laid there for 5 minutes before he got bored and grabbed my hairs and dragged me back to my cell. Yeah, my cell. And I think it's going to be mine for a long time. He dropped me on the floor near the door and left after properly locking it. I don't think he really needed to lock the door, as I don't even have the strength to lift my finger. At some point, I had closed my eyes and drifted off to restless sleep. Sound of door closing jolted me, and I found a tray with food right beside. Oh well, they are finally feeding me after I don't know. But the biggest question is, how the hell am I supposed to eat when I can't make my body to move? I guess I don't have any other choice but to try. My body is already weak with the loss of food and with the beating I got today. And with this new and amazing healing power, I need a lot of strength in order to survive. And I had to survive, it's not a choice. I still not know what happened to my family and what is going to happen to me. I gather all my strength, which to be honest wasn't much, and lift my broken and beaten body up. It took me 5 to 6 attempts to lift my body and lean on bars of the door. Task 1 complete now. Next challenge, how to bring food to my mouth. I take a look at the plate. It didn't have much. Some boiled vegetables, bread and rice, noodles with soup, juice and water bottle. Water? How could I not realize how thirsty I was before seeing it? I took that first with my shaky hands and gulped down some. Already feeling a bit better, I took my time in eating the rest of the food. The biggest irony of this situation was, I was the alpha of one of the biggest pack. I was supposed to be strong and dangerous, and yet here I was cuffed in silver while my captors didn't even think of me as some who could use a fork or something while attempting and escaping. Well, that does sound stupid even in my head. What good a fork would be against this immortals? Especially when I cowled and even moved to save my life. This routine lasted 7 days. Each day the same as earlier. I had bruises over bruises, and I can bet that I'm all black and blue, as each day I would be dragged to the arena and get beaten to a pulp and left in my cell. At some point, someone would drop food and water and I would drift to sleep after finish eating. I was sleeping on the cold hard floor, almost where Ulysses would drop me. And how I know how many days had passed? By judging the numbers of meal they had given me. And if I'm not wrong, they only fed me once a day. Goddess, I'm really in hell. Chapter 36. I hadn't heard a single word since I woke up at this goddess awful place. And I hadn't seen any face beside the asshole whose face had stuck in a single expression. It's like with his aging, his expression also froze at one. He hadn't spoken to me, he just keeps staring till I do what he wanted me to do. Which is not easy, as I had to guess with his no expression. It had been 7 days with the same fucking routine, which always ends in the same way. Me getting beat until I'm all black and blue. And I'm getting all frustrated and irritated at this. Today is going to be different. I can feel it. It had to. I waited for him to come, as I had managed to wake up early somehow. He came to me. A look of surprise passed through his frozen face. Oh, so he is capable of showing more emotions. But it didn't last very long. And he still dragged me to the arena, just the way he loved to do. Today I stood more alert than I've been lately, and I watched cautiously as he looked for his weapon. After he had picked his today's favorite, he turned to me. He had picked a long and thin staff. It's going to hurt real bad. He swings it with great force as he mimics the way he plans on beating me today. Show off. I'm not scared. You are scared. In an instant. He was standing so close to me, and I hadn't even seen him move a muscle. He swung the shaft at me from the right. I literally had a second before I dive away from it. I hadn't planned it beforehand, so I landed poorly on my arm. God, it hurt. I could barely move, and I felt a sharp pain on my back as I jerked forward with the impact. I winched as I felt a stinging pain and a small drop running down my body from the wound. He had broken my skin. Again. I felt him walk a few steps away from me, waiting for me to get on my feet, which I did as fast as I could. I watched him getting back in his stance. He swung his shaft in circles from his right hand to left hand. I focused my eyes on the shaft, and this time I was prepared as it swung to swift me off my feet. I jumped and rolled away from it. This time he didn't wait for me to recover and swing his shaft at me again. And I rolled away from it again. Seems like the only thing I could do at the moment. I tried dodging, but it still hit my back, and a cry of pain escaped me. The pain on my back choked me, and I had to struggle to breathe as pain takes over my whole body. He stepped away, waiting for me to get up, but I don't think I could. I tried evening my breath. It was a lost cause, as each breath I take means excruciating pain in my body. Every part is aching. Each breath felt heavy. Even a small moment hurt. But despite all this, I had to get up, 'cause I know the brooding figure above me is not known for his patience. I know well not to test. So I tried with everything that I had left to get up, and it still took me minutes to push myself on my knees. Standing on my own feet seemed like the toughest thing that I had ever done. I think what little patience he had left him as he swings his shaft at me, this time aiming at my head. I flinched and put my hands up as a pathetic excuse of defense. I didn't expect it to work, so I closed my eyes. I didn't want to see it coming. But it didn't come. I cautiously opened one eye to look at the shackles that I loathed have saved me. The shaft was mere inches from my face, stopped only by the chains that connect my shackles. My body reacted even before my mind could comprehend what had happened and pushed the shaft with everything I had. And, to my surprise, Mr. Asshole stumbled back. I think both of us didn't expect such a reaction from me. And I can't blame him, as this is the best I had done against him. He looked down at me with shock and something on his face, but it didn't last long as he smirked down at me. His smirk was different than his usual. It didn't felt like he was looking down at me. It was like this is the first time he saw me. Like everything had to end. This too ended as he struck again, hitting me hard on my side. I groaned as I hit the ground. I knew I couldn't get up this time. I don't have anything left to keep fighting. So much today being different. I still get beat until every inch of my being hurt. Nothing is different. It's same. I felt dark spots dancing as I struggled to stay conscious. I lift my head a bit before opening my eyes. 'Cause I knew where I would be. Mr. Asshole must have dragged me back to my beautiful cell. I tried grabbing bars to pull into a sitting position or something similar to that, only to find that I'm waving my hand in the air. That definitely pushed to finally open my eyes. Well, that's different. I'm not in my beautiful cell. That is whole left in the arena. Am I supposed to spend the night here? 'Cause I still can't move an inch. Why is this happening? Why? I don't know if this is Moon Goddess listening to my prayers or punishing me, but I heard footsteps coming toward me. Several footsteps. They stopped right beside me, and then I felt several hands manhandling me as they dragged me to somewhere. Somewhere that is not my cell. At least they were better than him. They dragged me through some stairs towards a bathroom. It looked old as it's made of stone, matching the old castle feel that this place has. They dropped me near the bathtub and left, closing the door. I looked around, lifting my head a little. The whole place is made of stone, and it had a giant pull-tight tub in the middle. It looked like it would be lit up with candles, but to my surprise this place has electricity. So it's not all ancient in here. The door opened again. This time two maids entered. They prepared the bath for me with warm water and adding something else in it. Then they helped me get in. I never knew warm water could bring this much relief to my broken and bruised body. I close my eyes and feel the tension and pain leave my body. I opened them when I heard the door closed. I saw the same maid enter again with some clothes in their hand. When did they leave? They put clothes down and helped me get up from the bath. One of them started drying me and I felt flushed. I didn't need their help, but I can't deny the fact that I would fall face first if they let go of me. After drying me, they put me in clothes that they brought. Clothes were nothing special, simple gray sweats. One of them get behind me to keep me steady, I think, while other one bent down. I didn't know what was happening until I felt shackles on my ankles. Then she stood up and did the same with my hands. I was too busy thinking when they removed them in the first place to struggle against them. They walked me out to the guards. I think the same from before, who walked me back to my cell. They locked it before leaving. This was definitely my first time leaving or entering this cell when someone dragging me somewhere. I sat on the bed, which also first after a long time, and look over my body. My hair is still damp from the bath. My body still aches, but my bruises have less and noticeably. I smell it before I heard them. Two guards came with a tray of food. It smells amazing. As they left after putting the tray in, I went up to it. I barely noticed that walking was a big challenge as I reached the tray. The food looked delicious. After an eternity, I'm really excited about eating. It doesn't feel like a task to keep me alive. After all, it's not daily when I'm served warm and tasty meal. Today was definitely different. Chapter 37, Adrian's POV. 20 days. It's been 20 days since they took her, and I couldn't do anything. Why am I such a loser? I couldn't even stand up for her. I don't deserve her. I toss the blanket away as I know I'm not getting any sleep tonight. How can I sleep when that day keeps on replaying in my head? As I hear those words over and over again. She is suffering there because I'm not strong enough. We have to take away your little mate from you. She's weak. She needed to be strong. Strong for both of you. I shake my head in the hope of getting rid of these words, but I know it's futile. I haven't told anyone about this. How could I tell them that their beloved Alpha, their sister, friend, or daughter is taken away from them because I'm not strong enough? They would hate me as I'm hating myself right now. I didn't plan on keeping it to myself, but when we returned that day, Xavier told me I can stay with my family for time being. No one would judge me. But this is also my family, and they need me more, yeah. What difference does your presence make? We had a pack meeting that day to tell everyone what happened. No one blamed me. Not a single finger was pointed accusing me, blaming for taking her away from them. They should have. They should have. It was hard to decide who would lead the pack in her absence. There was still the risk of war hanging on our head, though elders had warned him not to attack till we get our alpha back. But no one trusts those bastards to keep their words. Kyle was the best option, but we all knew his mate needs him more. No one wanted Xavier to take this burden, as they knew how hard his last years as alpha were. Leading without your mate difficult, as their wolf couldn't handle the burden alone. So the next best option was Jay. I think he would lead the pack well. But when he was asked, he just turned to me. He didn't say anything, but I know the question in his eyes. I gulped and nodded, still thinking about how horrible this idea is. Jay didn't seem to agree with me, as he smiled and announced that I would be leading the pack, as in technically their alpha's mate, and that he would guide me wherever I need him. I half expected people to laugh at this and half expected them to demand me leaving the pack. But they did none of that. All I got was a quiet agreement. I'm leading the pack since that day, and true to his words, Jay has been present as a guide and friend. I didn't know they had so many businesses among human. I had never hated a word before. I didn't even know it is possible to hate a word, especially that word that looks so innocent while describing me. A lot has changed here. I never knew the impact a person has in your life. Till seeing this. Everyone is different. Xavier looked like he aged a decade in these days. Tyler, that kid who couldn't be tamed. And everyone babbied him while keep teasing him to death, has grown up. He had himself taken the responsibility of keeping pack borders safe. He is pushing his body's limit. Well, we all are. Kyle is back at his training. He is pushing warriors hard, but no one is complaining. Everyone wants to make their alpha proud. And no, that's not me. They want Eddie to be proud of them when she returns. I and Steven are training together well. Most of the time our session is separated from the rest of the warriors. Everyone, especially Kyle, lost their shit when Steven announced that he wants to participate in training. It's easy to say that no one agreed, but they couldn't bulge him. Even though I wanted him to avoid all this for longer, but I understand his reasons. How could you sit still while your family and your mate are in danger? When no one from family stood up to train us, Tyler did. He said that he would hate himself and others if he had to sit down at such times. Nobody argued it after that, but Kyle was happy. Steven and he didn't talk for over a week. But then he relented, and now Kyle and Tyler train us alternate days. My relation with them has changed a lot for the better. At least that's what I think. Training together with Steven had made us good friends. I get a better understanding of the boys, as Eddie loves to call them. These strong men that could kill you with bare hands have only one weakness: their family, which is also their biggest strength. I know they felt the same helplessness when they took her away. Something good happened in 20 days. Gay found his mate. She's a feisty little thing. She was rogue and entered our pack while she was running from other rogues. I smiled at the memory of that day. I looked at the time. It's 5:30 am. I should get ready for my training. It's Kyle's turn today, and if I get there late, he would make me run the whole pack border. And I cannot do that when I didn't get 4 hours sleep. Chapter 38, Jay's POV. I look at the beauty laying beside me. It's still hard to believe that I found her. After looking in so many packs, she stumbled inside our pack. I can never forget that day. I was in the Alpha office with Adri and telling him about some deal for one of our hotels when Eiler linked me about rogue and pack border. I didn't pay any attention to it, as I know he could handle it. But after 2 or 3 minutes, I got another link from one of our pack warriors telling me that Tyler might need help with that rogue. To be honest, I didn't believe that. I mean, I agree that he might not look the type to make anyone piss their pants from fear, but I know what he's capable of. I thought that this is one of his infamous pranks where he would make fun of me for believing such a thing. But I still decided to humor him and went there. What I found there was shocking, to say the least. Tyler was fighting, or more like trying to subdue, a small wolf who clearly had several wounds and was at the verge of fainting. But the wolf was agreeing to that and was fighting with all her might, while Tyler was trying to avoid any injury on both parts. He had a long scratch on his left leg and was bleeding badly. But for some reason I couldn't look away. I was in some trance which broke from a painful cry. My body reacted before my mind could, and I found myself between 2 fighting wolves. Only one of them was still standing. The little wolf had snapped their leg and was on the ground. I slowly kneeled in front of her, not to startle her. Her eyes were watching me warily, watching my every movement. I didn't at that time. Why was I so intrigued in some rogue? I asked her if she could shift back so we could take her to the infirmary. She shook her head in no while keeping the eye contact, whether to check that I don't make any sudden movement or she was too in the trance. Like me. But the contact broke when she collapsed on the ground, maybe cause of exertion or injuries. I picked her up with the amount of care that I didn't know I could muster. Yes, I'm fine. Thank you for asking, Jay. I turned around to look at him. He had shifted back and was wearing some shorts. His leg had started healing, though the cut was really deep and without medication would take a couple of days to heal. She is my mate. Tyler, I found my mate. Okay, buddy, I'm happy for you, but we needed to take her to the infirmary. She's bleeding badly. I looked down at his words to notice my little mate still in her wolf form, unconscious in my arms, and my white tee, shirt turning red from her blood. Guess that's the only encouragement I needed to start running to get her help that she needed badly. When I reached there, they took my mate from me and pushed me out of the room. They didn't let me see her as they started her treatment. I just wanted to hold her hand and take away all her pain. And I swear I would have barged in if Tyler didn't stop me. That day I understood how Kyle felt when he saw his mate in that state and why he refused to let him participate in training. I too wanted to lock her in a tower if that meant she would be safe, but I knew she would kick my ass for even thinking such thing. And I had seen her fight, so I don't have any doubt on her. Waiting for her to wake in the hospital was hard, but waiting for her to open up to me was harder. She presented challenges at every point. There is never a dull moment with her. And when I look at her sleeping next to me, I just feel happy. I don't have a better word to describe my feelings. I'm just happy. But I also feel guilty for being happy. It felt wrong to be happy when my family is going through so much. Eddie and Tyler were babies of our group. Eddie, cause she was the only girl in the group, she was a weird combination of queen and baby, while Tyler being youngest and magnet for trouble. And watching one growing up in front of my eyes in just matter of days, when other is out there suffering to protect us. A different kind of torture. I never knew when they both grow up that start looking after us, and I think Kyle and Adir think that too. Kyle's guilt of not being able to protect his mate was already eating him, but now not being able to protect his baby sister is making things so much worse. Xavier, who wanted a break from Pax life, can't even leave Pax border in fear of any attack happening against his family. And Adrian, that poor guy blames himself. I can't comprehend the reason, though that's why I suggested him for leading the pack. Cause technically he is the alpha's mate. HES doing his best in learning how to lead pack and his training. Tyler has taken the responsibility to handle each and every attack by himself and got us there so many. HES trying himself out. And I am trying my best to take care of everyone when they can't. I'm trying to glue them together. I just want my sister back. Eden as POV. After the day when I had impressed that asshole with my fighting skills, I don't know what had him impressed that it got me a hot bath and a hot meal. But the next day was different too, as when he was picking his shaft, he picked one for me too. Which didn't help me much as it ended broken, just like me in the end. And I didn't get any special treatment that day. It had been repeating for today's and today too. But today I think I was than yesterday and day before. How could I say that? Well, I did manage to shove him to the ground 2 times. 2 times. No, actually, just stumbled a bit. Hey, that got me same special treatment, so I guess that's good too. I hope one day it'll be good enough to beat his ass. I hope everyone is fine and I'll meet them soon. Chapter 39. I finally completed the training, or what I would like to call my beating. And they are going to let me go. I don't think I could ever forget anything that happened here. The way we were brought here, or that I was drugged and locked in a fucking dungeon, and I definitely can't forget the training torture. I had to fight against that asshole, or I should say, Ulysses. He would definitely beat me more for calling him names. I had to fight against him until I was able to hit him once. Yeah, once. That's all it took to complete his part of the training. He even gave me a smile. Not his usual smirk. An actual smile. And that's how I entered the next stage of whatever it was. I refused to call it training. Next was Naomi, and God, she is scary. She has a special love for her daggers, and let me tell you, wouldn't want to be on the other end of it. She never misses it, I mean never. I still don't know what I did to pass her test, cause all I could recall from it was running like hell. I lost the count of times she stabbed me or nicked me. It was living hell, cause unlike Ulysses, she didn't give me any weapon or shield. I didn't know what I was supposed to do, so I did not earn any special bath or meal during her time. But somehow I managed to pass it, and am not going to question it. After her came Althea and Sylvester with their mighty swords and their love for the blindfold. I don't know how they expected me to fight not one but two elders with a blindfold. It took me days to rely on my other senses. Things that should be easy for me, as being a werewolf, and not just a werewolf. An alpha, but without the help of my inner wolf, I don't think I was any better than humans. And the fact that they didn't make any sound and are well coordinated with each other was a big help. As a result, I got beaten a lot, which as I look in these past days has been constant. More constant than anything ever been. Thankfully they didn't use an actual sword, or it would have been way worse, and I fear that I might have lost a limb. Somehow I again managed to pass our test. All I had to do was make a single hit. A single hit was all it needed to stop again. But my nightmare was not ended after this. Cecil still had to take his chance with me. His speciality is hand-to-hand combat. And you would think that after spending my time with other elders I would have been able to stand against him for 2 minutes. No, I didn't stand for 2 seconds. I didn't even know when it started or when it ended. The guy is way faster than Flash himself, and he broke more bones than all of them combined. Something that I didn't know was possible. But all's well if the end is well. No, I still have to stay here as Faye wants to talk to me. Once I would have considered myself lucky for this opportunity, but after all this, I just want to go back to my family and pray that I would never have to look back. I got Flicker back, so not everything is bad. She told me she'd had to train somewhere. They had locked her out, so she couldn't contact me. It doesn't matter where she was, I'm just glad that I have her back. After living in fear of never having her back, he'll gladly hear her irritating voice again. That's not what you said when I came. See, I don't care what you said. I'm just happy to have you. I'm sure she had to come back for that, but she didn't get the chance as the door opened and they all come in. I'm back in that room at the exact same place where it all started. They came inside one and take their previous seat. So I see the little wolf is not that weak after all. She somehow managed to survive this. Althea mocked, to which I chose to ignore. I didn't want to give them any reason to start that all over again. Instead, I turned my attention to Faye. Are you going to answer my question now? Yes, my child. Ask what you want to know. Why? Because you were weak. You needed to be strong for your mate, your pack, and even for all other werewolves. Naomi told me. I don't understand. What does I have to do anything with other werewolves? We are, how do I put it? We are retiring. No offense, Faye, but you guys don't really work that much. I said that before even realizing what I did. Are you crazy? Do you want us to be shunned from the world again? Flicker scolded me, but to both our relief Faye only smiled, that warm smile that makes you feel at ease. Do you know how old we are? We have lived centuries after completing our natural life cycle, after losing each and every one we love. How much it takes us to come here and solve your quarrels. Don't we deserve to go back to our mates? Yes, I'm sorry. I didn't know how much you are sacrificing for us. We all are retiring. All the elders of different species, all. Then who would guide us? Without elders there would be chaos. We have figured out something for that. You don't have to worry about that. But I still don't know why I had to do all that. I had thought that you did that because you don't accept a human as my mate. No, it's not that. In fact, we think he is the best you could have. My child, you have no idea how difficult it was for the mother to select the right mate for you. Faye said with a distinct emotion. You were destined to be the alpha of your pack, but that made finding the right mate very difficult. Cecil said for the first time. Since you are a strong alpha, you needed a mate who was also strong, but selecting another alpha was not wise, as you both would have many conflicts. And finding anything less than that meant you wouldn't be strong to fulfill your destiny. That's why the mother picked that human for your mate. He has courage and compassion, which he proved by fulfilling the role of both mother and father in his sibling's life. As you fulfilled the role of Luna and Alpha for your pack, you needed a mate who could do the same. Your human mate has proved that Mother's choice was indeed perfect. You both are a perfect match for each other. Now it's time for you to go and untie with your family. Face End, within the blink of an eye, was outside, and there was no castle anywhere in the sight. Damn, you got us kicked out of Elder's Castle. Girl, you have some amazing talent. Shut up, Flicker. I mean, I could expect this from Tyler, but you need to work on your people skill. I chose to ignore her cause I take my word back. She is damn irritating and my family is waiting for me. I quickly shifted in my wolf form, which took me some time as it had been a while since I shifted in this form. But once I shift, I start running in my pack's direction.